It all starts with a twinkle in your eye, to feeling the thousands of little butterflies in your stomach. Love at first sight, the thoughts of happily ever after, that maybe this will just last forever. It's the best feeling in the world. Now for the other 45 of us, dating is a total ping pong match of compatibility and lifestyle values. All the way until you get a first class ticket to a WWE match of the survival of the fittest. Until you can compromise with another person to just do this life shit together. But before you can even reach any of that, you have to first get through the first date. Hey guys, and welcome to Gets Real, the place to be where newly singles gather to navigate this crazy modern dating world. Every week we dive into some of the dating ups and downs when your dating life becomes intentional. I'm TyAngela, your host and life coach for newly singles trying to date with marriage in mind. Because as a newly single myself, stepping into the dating arena again, I've discovered quickly that this shit gets real. Have you ever talked to someone for months and never gone out on an actual date? Then, on the flip side, have you gone on 3 or 4 really great dates and then the sparks just die? Dating can always seem like a roller coaster of emotions and a bunch of trial and error. From the fluttering first text to the first meetup, we've got you covered to breeze right through your first date. The vibe of your initial date is really customary to who you are as a person. But hold off on the razzle-dazzle of your personality by sticking to this classic casual coffee date. Before you plan this big date, make sure you've had enough phone time to really establish a basis of compatibility. Even if it's just at the very basic level, whether you've met online or in person, 2 to 3 days is not enough time to really have enough time to get to know the important things about your potential partner. But it is enough time to establish a feeling of security. So try to hold off on even booking this initial first date until you've talked for about a week. Whether you call it a screener date, a sip and see, or a meet and greet, this classic first date is perfect in the get to know you step of any dating phase. While a coffee date to some may seem very casual, there's a lot to be desired from this experience. Some may look down on this type of initial first date as less of a date and more of a let's have a chance to talk and see if there's an interest event. But this initial step is the ultimate to start any date. Let's explore a few pros and cons of the brilliant coffee date. First off, don't just stop at a coffee shop. Hop over to a cafe or a juice bar as an easygoing alternative. A key feature to planning a date like this is to avoid the busy hours in whatever coffee shop you choose. For the life of me, don't, and I mean do not, go to Starbucks or Dunkin's for a date. Find a cozy, cute indie coffee shop as a much better alternative. Moving on to a few perks of this casual date. These are a few. A coffee date can give you a sense of safety and security, being that this is a new person. It saves money in case the date doesn't go well. It works perfectly during the weekdays or on the weekend. And if this date turns out to be a little bit more enjoyable than you intended, it can be easily transitioned and extended into a casual date, moving from either morning to a lunch date or a lunch date to a dinner date. Coffee dates often relieve the pressure of having to be all dressed up for someone you barely even know. Also, the laid-back feel of this entire experience can lead itself to having more of an open opportunity to a conversation style. While there were a few perks, there's always a few disadvantages. Like while you can seek out cafes for a cozier vibe, I need you to be aware to hold off on any major romantic vibes. Secondly, just because you're in a closer proximity to the person that you're trying to get to know with this ultra lounge feel, you'll be forced to search for conversations. But if you find yourself fumbling for topics, try our 21-day question guide to help you balance out the need for conversation. So now that you're ready for more coffee talk, let's skim over a few topics that you can try out. Try talking about family, your jobs, any recreations you may try, and highlight a few of your passions. You want to try to find out your partner's weaknesses, learn about their routines, explore their leisure time activities, and you can try a fun and cute rate my drink game. Now that the date's going well, and if you're thinking about extending it, try to go for these few things. Try going for a walk at a nearby park, or find a movie that's showing in a couple of minutes, or slide into another restaurant that may be just down the street. Here are a few first date etiquette tips to follow. Remember to be on time. I'm talking 5 minutes early on time, not 30 minutes late. If you are late, please be courteous enough to text your potential partner and let them know about how late you will be running. Be prepared. Seek out the menu ahead of time to try to look at what's available and pick a few choices of what you want before you even arrive there. Knowing what you want before you even get to the restaurant or the coffee shop makes you look more decisive. Be honest with your dating intentions. No one likes their time wasted. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable in this conversation. After all, this may be your next partner. And screw the dating rules that don't apply. If you've been talking or texting with this person for a while, then the first date may be where you want to pull out all the big guns. Remember, to plan a nice date for your partner after every fourth or fifth date. You don't want to bunch of casual dates and then your partner gets bored and starts getting a feeling like you're more hanging out than actually dating this person. But whether you go to a coffee shop or not, make sure you have fun. Dating is supposed to be non-stressful and make each encounter as enjoyable as possible. Thanks for joining me, Ty, in this episode of Gets Real. Let's connect on Instagram at GetsReal_podcast. Whether you loved it or hated it, leave me a review.